So, my name is Luke. I'll just be giving a little bit of an introduction here and then kicking it off to our two fantastic speakers. Since this is the debut of the Austin 1 Million Cups chapter, I wanted to give everyone a background, and maybe I'll just start with a quick survey. Prior to this event, who had heard of 1 Million Cups before? Okay, good. So the rest of you, I guess, and how many of you have attended a 1 Million Cups event? 2, okay. 3. Well, next month, I'll get everyone's hand, which will be awesome. Everyone from your group, so very cool. So yeah, that's the plan. I'll maybe spend 5 minutes giving a little bit of background on the program, what it's all about. We're really excited to have it and debut it here in Austin, and we're really hopeful that you have a great time and tell basically everyone you know about it for next time. So there are our details. I'll bring that up, of course, again later. And want to just show off a couple things, specifically kind of what is 1 Million Cups, and then we'll jump into our speakers as I indicated there. I don't have this order and completely memorized, so I will have to look back occasionally. I apologize for that, but here's some quick reading for you. Basically, this is a neat entrepreneurial program, and there are thousands of entrepreneurial programs in Austin, so what makes this different? Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to get into that right now. Here are a bit of the layouts of the different 1 Million Cup communities throughout the country. The mothership is in Kansas City, and pretty much from 2012 to 2015, been growing very, very rapidly, just a 3 or 4 year organization. And now we get to add us. Is that us? That's probably us, yeah.
No, we're not on there yet.
Okay. We'll add us for the next time. The sort of unique value proposition for this event versus the others is this is designed to be a much more kind of supportive, collaborative type of environment. There's a lot of pitch events, but they're somewhat intense, and a lot of times those companies are, hey, I need a co-founder, hey, I need funding, and it's really, hey, what are these next steps? And those are terrific for the right companies, but this is designed to be a little bit more, hey, this is my situation, and getting everyone and really soliciting feedback from the community on how can we take what I'm working with and be successful with my company or idea or project, typically company. So it's not this just pitch environment where you're just going through the quick basics and trying to get that investor interested. It's this sort of pre those types of events, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. National phenomenon from Anchorage to Daytona Beach. Just from the humble start in 2013, there are already up to 70, 80 communities nationwide. So this idea has really gotten a lot of traction, which is very exciting. And again, we're very excited now to bring it to Austin. 3,000 plus people on a weekly basis, 5,000 something. Okay, creating job creators. A little bit of demographics of who presents typically at these types of events. There you can see some of the breakdowns there on age, and then areas of expertise. I think this is another really neat element of 1 Million Cups versus traditional tools. I think Austin especially has a very tech-centric startup community, which is terrific, but the neat thing about 1 Million Cups is it oftentimes gets people from a wider variety of industries that you might otherwise not see. So you can see some of the areas of expertise of presenters typically. Building an entrepreneurial nation, the types of businesses that typically present, and the business stage. And by the way, part of the point of me telling you this is to tell your friends who do have businesses and get them excited about this. We're looking for presenters, and basically they just submit a quick application on the website and we can get them into the queue for this program. So if you've got someone in mind, please do share that information. Types of businesses that generally present here. IT and communication makes up about 1/5 of it, and then you've got some of these other industries as well. So again, it's kind of neat. We've got a wide variety of industries, and we're really excited to keep it. We've got some neat different companies presenting today, so that's really exciting.
Luke, that doesn't add up to nearly 100%.
I'm guessing these are the top 5 here, and then there's 1, 2, 3%. You know, we didn't want to have a 1 Million Cups graphic here, so we stuck to 5 cups for the starting point. But I appreciate that insight. I'm sure I can get you a printout and you can check everyone off the. But yeah, that's a fair point there. We'll put a few trailing off of the other ones. And then business stages. Again, this is perhaps a little bit different. So we did talk about this being the ideation stage, but still, almost half of the companies are actually operating and are generating revenue when they're presenting here. And then you do also, that doesn't mean you can't be a pre-revenue type of company. So again, a little bit of a variety of companies and what stages they're at, which is sometimes dissimilar from some of the others where they're at a very specific stage. And we're very open, tends to be like the cutoff they recommend is about 3 years of operating, kind of up to that point, but we've got some flexibility there too. Now that's sort of the national identity. What do we envision 1 Million Cups Austin being? We have 4 quick checkpoints here. I talked about this, the ideation stage. So it doesn't have to be this fully fledged idea that they've got basically everything ready to go, they just need money. It can really be something a little bit before that and getting feedback and insights from people in the community. That's what we think this could be really exciting. Casual conversations, supportive environment, friendly, we're looking for feedback ideas, and these entrepreneurs are showing some vulnerability and kind of expressing what are their challenges and concerns, and that's what's so exciting about this. It really allows everyone to contribute ideas to hopefully grow their businesses. Our vision is to become the first place. Did someone say that for me? Burgeoning. Perfect. Burgeoning thinkers. Didn't want to horribly botch that, so I'll just thank you for the assist there. And basically, we've got the cap effect, we've got the galvanize, all kinds of tech stars, great events, and we're thinking this can kind of be the place where those ideas are born. They start here, they get some great feedback, and then they eventually maybe funnel into those types of systems, or they're just a small business and they just kind of go in and do great things on their own. That's kind of how we see the identity of 1 Million Cups Austin as it relates to the tech community and just existing entrepreneurial community that is already established. Okay, so what are we going to do? I need to wrap my part up so we can get to the awesome speakers. This is what the format looks like. So we're going to have 2 speakers today, and hopefully we're going to aim for 2 every time. They are going to get 6 minutes to present their company, and then we're basically going to throw it off to you as community members and as audience members, and we're really highly encourage you to share your feedback, your ideas, your insights, or potentially even introductions to help answer this question: what as a community can we do to help you? That's what makes this program really successful, and this is why this becomes this really neat community, and why it's become so successfully nationwide. So that's what it's going to look like. So we're going to start with Lisa this morning, and then we're going to hand it off to Molly, and so 6 minutes, 20 minutes of Q&A, take a small 5-minute, and then we'll pass it over to the next round of that, and then we'll wrap her up a little after 9. Excellent. So that is the program, and I want to quickly give you a little insight into who is going to be speaking today. As I referenced, we've got Molly and we have Lisa. Molly is part of Kickstand Communications, and Lisa is from beecaveyoga, and they are sitting right here, but just in case you can't see the back of their heads right now, that's what they look like. Oh, cool. So we are going to start with Lisa, right? Sound good? Cool. So I'm going to. I don't know where you got that picture. This is on your LinkedIn.
That's like the wrong LinkedIn.
That's you though, right?
Yeah, but
I like it though.
I know
it's kind of the casual.
No, but I have two LinkedIns.
2 LinkedIn.
Yeah, and I couldn't get rid of one, so
okay.
just like.
My apologies. I will ask them to. Can I keep it here, or do you want me to move to a different frame? Okay. Sorry to start there, but as you LinkedIn, I checked it's your name and everything. So.
Yeah, I couldn't get rid of one.
Okay. We'll work on it. We'll take a look at that in any case. But perfect. So please welcome Lisa to the stage. Cool. So I don't think we're gonna tackle you off stage, but let's try to keep it at about that 6-minute mark. Excellent. So I will shut up and Lisa can get rock and roll here.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. So I would like you just to take a minute and imagine that it's Monday morning, you're running late, you get up late, you You look at your phone and you see you have countless messages, emails, text messages, etc. You go in the kitchen, you make coffee, and then there's that to-do list. You rush off to work, to the office, or maybe take the kids to school. So when do you give yourself a break? That pause, that time where you can just imagine all the positive possibilities. A lot of us live a really hectic lifestyle, and we all need to slow down. In fact, if the whole world would slow down, everything would improve. So with yoga, it really gives us a healthy mental recovery from a very busy, hectic lifestyle. And it gives us time to reprioritize, to clear our mind, and basically just to breathe. So the breath alone calms the mind and allows you to just imagine all the possibilities. It allows you to think clearly. It allows you to, it moves the spine, just the breath alone moves the spine and calms the mind. So yoga, you could say that yoga was really the first preventative health system. And it helps us to live overall a happy, healthy lifestyle. The biggest benefit of yoga is stress reduction. And some people say that as much as 80% of all illnesses is caused from stress. Yoga has been proven in many studies to be one of the best systems for stress management. People that practice yoga as little as once a week, according to Oxford University, have less stress, less back pain, they sleep better, they're more productive, and they're also more creative. So you can increase your productivity and your creativity by just taking a pause, practicing yoga just once a week. So that's not really that much. Right now, there are over 120 million people in the United States over the age of 40. But yet, most yoga in Austin, as well as the United States, are very athletic styles of yoga that are really more designed for people like in their 20s and 30s. So yoga goes from like hot yoga, ashtanga, really athletic yoga, to like chair yoga or restorative yoga, with not that much in between, until now. So the style I teach in my group classes is called Prime of Life Yoga. And that was pioneered by my brother, Dr. Larry Payne of Los Angeles. And it's designed specifically for people 40 and over, but it's really good for anybody that just wants a more gentle style. So you still get all the benefits of increasing strength, flexibility, and balance, but you're not going to be intimidated. It's breath-oriented, it's non-competitive, and it's great. So those are my group classes. In my private classes, what I like to do is think of it as I come to you at a time that fits your schedule, a day and time that works for you, so you don't have to think about a studio and accommodate their schedule. I come to you and help you create that sacred space so that I can bring yoga to you. Now, some of my clients want me because they're afraid to go to a group class. Like they don't feel quite ready, so I help prepare them. Other people just want something ongoing because they're just overwhelmed and stressed out, so I go to them on a weekly basis. And then there's other people that want me to help them put together their own home program. So I can come to you for 5 or 6 times, design and create a home program so that you can continue on your own. Okay, so so I explain my group classes and my private classes. I am a registered yoga teacher with the Yoga Alliance, and I'm also a certified health and wellness coach with Well Coach. I have taught yoga for over 10 years on a part-time basis, but it's just been the past year or so where I really want to try to make this my full-time profession. So my goal, currently I teach 3 group classes and 3 or 4 private classes. So my goal is to move that up to like 10 or 12 private classes. So that, I would like that to be my focus. And I see this as accommodating people that are just overwhelmed and stressed out executives, stressed out moms, or just anybody that feels overwhelmed and wants me to come to their house instead of traveling through traffic. So my challenge is to find a way to get more what I call pre-screened clients, and that means, Luke gave me that word, and that means that I can't just in the traditional way of people looking at my website on the internet, blah, 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 and contacting them when I don't know who they are. There's like a safety issue. So I need some type of referral base from a trustworthy place or word of mouth. And I would appreciate your feedback.
You have an excellent, very calm, soothing voice. If you don't have a video on your website, it's probably a good idea to put one there just to show that demeanor that you have.
Oh, thank you. I think that's important because, you know, you don't want to go to a yoga teacher and feel more stressed out with their voice. And I've done that. You know, I've been like, oh God, I can't stand my voice.
So I think I'm in your demographic. I'll go past it 1 to 2. But I think that's a great idea that you have because you're exactly right. Most of yoga is intimidating, you know, after a certain age. And then also the data is guys get hurt in yoga more than women because we don't like to get shown up. We're not in the same shape they're in and we can't do what they do. And, you know, so my practical question would be, do you have, with the size of Austin and all that kind of stuff, there got to be places where your demographic is more concentrated. If there is such thing, I'm not sure that I know Austin that well. But my question would be, are there a couple of places around town where you could do group sessions for your target demographic that would reduce their, you know, not everybody's going to try. You right now, you're right here in this neighborhood, right? So maybe not everybody's going to drive all the way here, but if you have one, you know, I mean, you know, think of all kinds of places, but I think a group, fundamentally, you're going to make more money in a group than you are individually. Sooner or later, you're going to get tired of going to somebody's house and doing their thing. You know, you're going to go, well, when my travel time and what I get paid, it's not worth it. I'm speculating.
well, I think a combination, but I like doing the one-on-one. But you're right, like a combination of it. But right now, I'd like to focus more on finding that one-on-one.
Was I interrupting you before you were done? You were talking about your concern about you want to build more one-on-ones, but you need a way to vet the people so that you're not going into strangers' homes for your own
Exactly.
safety.
So it'd have to be
So
like
you've got a small customer base to begin with, and you do teach some classes where you're building relationships. Could you take an approach like, I hate to even put this word out there, but like Tupperware, where you ask somebody you've already got a trusting relationship to invite 3 friends for a free night and at their home, and you just do an introduction and just let them know what you do, and there's no pressure to do anything, but you let them know where they can come for a group class and let them know that you're available, and so use your existing relationships to help you find those relationships.
That's a good idea.
I was just thinking, if you're interested in a one-on-one, to me it sounds like a premium offering. So if you're gonna offer premium, it also starts to narrow down who your ideal client is. Because a person who will only pay for a punch card at Yoga is not gonna be your premium client.
Exactly, and that's also, you know, they don't pay the yoga teachers very much, because I worked at Yoga, Bodhi Yoga, all those places. That's why I really want to stay on my own and work in terms of group. I want to be in a community setting, and then the one-on-one. Yeah, Yoga pays very little to the yoga teachers. So I'm not down. But
So like if you do premium, then instead of just coming to someone's house and doing yoga, then it becomes like a whole experience. It's not just yoga at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's everything from the ambiance to additional things you offer. You're health and wellness coach, so maybe it starts or ends with coaching as well as the yoga. It becomes like a whole life-changing kind of an experience, because then people will pay for premium prices.
Okay.
They won't be paying for yoga drop-in $50 a class, because I'm assuming you don't want to go to someone's house and just have them pay you $50 an hour per class,
Right,
you know?
right.
But then you start getting up into, you know, larger packages, and a premium offering also isn't just a one-time thing, it's like a series of things. So now you've got somebody who's on your calendar booked ahead for, you know, 6 months. But that might work too.
Thank you. That's a great idea. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. That same person, that's just like in my group classes. I mean, I teach at the library on Cuernavaca. And I have, you know, like 25 people in class, but those aren't the same people that are gonna pay for private class. They, you know, so you're right.
I was just gonna ask you, where do you offer group classes, and you answered my question.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that I represent public libraries, 185 of them. Many of them have yoga classes, and this has been a hot topic this week on yoga classes and liability and yada yada, that kind of stuff. And you said you were certified and you were.
And I also have
registered.
liability insurance.
Yeah, but I would say, you might want to try the Bee Cave Library, you might want to try the Lake Trappist Library, some of the area smaller ones that are independent like West Bank is, and say, you have this need, and I'm willing to come in between or whatever you're willing to do. Because library people tend to be really nice.
Yeah, and I tried that. And I know that I'm like a friend of the library, BK Library, that's where I live.
Oh, good.
And it's kind of hard thing because it's nonprofit.
Right.
So it's a very special situation that I have at the Lower Bush Library, where I actually get paid. For the most part, you have to rent the room and then you can't charge people. So you have to, they have to have a director that thinks it's really important. But it's a good idea. I have tried, but that's another good idea because that's a great community setting.
And what about the senior center on, and they might have their own, there's a senior center.
Lakeway.
Well, there's one downtown at 29 and something. Show River or something like that.
Okay.
And Northwest Rec Center, those kinds of things. Again, if you have to pay room rent in your hotel.
Yeah, I'm really looking, like you said, for someone that wants a premium situation. Now, I do have a little studio in my apartment, so I do have a few people that I know well come to my studio. So that's why I don't have to go with them, but some people like that because some people don't want to have you come to their house because it's a mess or whatever, you know.
So I already know the answer to this question because we spoke before, but to your point when you're just mentioning the group classes, do you want to explain a little bit about the economics of why a private class makes more sense in terms of you trying to achieve your goals, making this a full-time profession versus the group class? Because it also seems, when I first heard this, I thought the same thing, you make more money from group classes, but the reality is the opposite.
Right, well, in terms of group classes, there's working for a yoga studio, which is not very lucrative. So the second thing in terms of group classes is finding community centers, such as, you mentioned, I also teach at a church, St. John Newman, and the library. I teach with a chiropractor. So all different, and I've done all different types of things. So it's hard to find actually those community centers where you can have a class. And It turns out, well, by the time we rent the room, the people pay like a drop-in fee or whatever, it's not as much as, you know, I would make if I'm doing one-on-one. So I charge, you know, competitive price for my one-on-one, and if I were to do, you know, have, you know, 10 or 12 clients, I would make a lot more money than doing a few group classes. But I think the combination is good. But I just don't think that the same people that are coming to my group class are going to be my private clients. They're two different people. Because I've heard people say that, well, you can get clients from me, but they're two different people.
Okay, so let me focus on the private client then. Have you focused, or have you thought about focusing on something really specific like maternity? You know, like, once you get in the network of women who are pregnant and they want to keep going, okay, I mean, there are plenty of, you know, and those are folks that have got time, because now they're not, you know, they've got to slow down because they're pregnant and all that
That's a
kind of
good
stuff.
idea.
Or if you had a specific demographic where you could go to get referrals, like from physical therapists or rehab people that would say, oh, now I've got you back on your feet again, but you need to be doing more than this, and I know the person that can keep you going is primarily like yoga. So if you can find just a couple of referral sources.
Exactly, that's really what
And
I
so,
need.
but you gotta have a strategy, you gotta have a focus, you gotta know who it is you want. And the more precisely you get your focus, the better, one, it's gonna appeal to them more. Oh, this is the woman that really knows how to take care of blah, blah, blahs. And then the word travels on that. If you're a generalist, you know, I don't think that's gonna be nearly as successful.
Okay.
So you want to think about where you want to focus.
That's good advice, thanks.
Do you have a prototype customer?
In terms of my privates right now, they're, are we okay on time?
We're good, we're good.
Okay. They're women, the three I have right now are women. They're over 40, like, I don't know, they're like 48, both of them, and they were referred by each other. So my first one referred the other two. And they're basically, one's a stay-at-home mom that is moving toward entrepreneurship. The other one is a chef. And the other one is works at a bank. So I would say, but just super stressed out. So people that just feel overwhelmed, I would say, in general.
What are their commonalities?
I almost feel like a psychologist, you know, when they come to me, because the first 10 minutes, which I count as part of their session, is like, they're like, oh my God, you know, they just like tell me all this stuff, you know, and that's like, wow. You know, they really feel a lot of things, stresses in their life and this and that. And then when they're done, they're like, oh my God, it's so fantastic, thank you so much, I should do this every day.
Testimonials, there's nothing as powerful as testimonials.
And I was supposed to bring that up, some testimonials, but I didn't, so.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
got
that's a
that on
good
your
idea.
website.
I do have them on my website.
What if you went to where the money is? What if
To
you
where?
went to, for instance, you did a private, you went to like, I'll just throw something out there, Bridgepoint Elementary School, where some of the women you described would be that demographic.
Like the teachers, you mean?
No, I mean like the parents.
Oh, okay.
Like go to PTO meetings and that sort of thing, where you would have the people with the disposable income and they would fit your profile client and then, you know, do a session for them or whatever.
That's a good idea.
Or a television show, there are plenty of morning shows that need someone, you know, they need to fill the airtime, so you could be
You
on
have
the
any
new
connections?
news show.
Okay, those are great.
You can pitch, you don't need connections to get on TV. All you have to do is just let them know that you exist, because she's right. They are always looking for.
You mean like the local news?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, because I mean, you're looking for local clients. So.
Okay.
And you could spend it getting close to the holidays, like it's so stressful. I mean, you do some stress techniques, reduce your stress, and boom, they're gonna need to fill the airtime.
Okay.
And that can
I
even
didn't
lead
do
into
that.
like doing a small little email series too, like you get one email a week for a month or something of like, here's a couple of techniques and here, you know, here's like some stress de-escalator. So it's kind of getting people sort of funneling, you're getting them at the top of the funnel, sort of moving them down. And then spending time really like who your perfect client would be and really writing that stuff down. You can find resources that will help you like pull all the important parts out.
Okay.
But that's always the most important part, because if you know exactly who you're talking to, then
Yeah.
you can get, like, you can find what you're looking
Yeah,
for.
in a general way, I'm just seeing people that are just stressed out and overwhelmed.
Many of those are
Yeah, and they just like, you know, they're like, they just feel relaxed when it's,
Okay, probably one more, and then we'll.
Have you done any Facebook advertising? That allows you to segment so well.
yeah, I mean, you're right. I have a business Facebook page, but in terms of carrying that into a, you know, paying for ads and stuff like that, that's a good idea. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. And if you go to my website at beecaveyoga.com, and that has all the information.
You have
Yeah,
additional
there's
ideas? or-
Christy, who got me the yoga class at the Northern Library.
Very cool. Well, thanks again, and if you got additional ideas for Lisa, please reach out to her on various ways of reaching out to people these days, and we'll keep it going.
Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Leo, who is about to run for his baby that's about to be born, about to run out of the room, but he was luckily, the baby was kind enough to work around
Save
that
time.
one night. So Leo, I am Luke. We've got Mary over here. We've got Colleen, who was really started this entire
No,
process. here.
Mary was our original starter.
Yeah, and Mary, yep, tag dynamic duo. Marissa, who's been helping us out on the social media, and Christina, who's in Boston, who's been helping us out on public relations. So Leo, kind of business advice. I've been helping on presentation business advice. Mary's been helping organize. Colleen helping host, get the hosts. Versus social media. Christina, public relations. Sponsors. Leo, you want to say a paragraph on Choose What?
Sure. So ChooseWhat.com is a site that we built for entrepreneurs. So if you are starting a business and you're particularly good at whatever it is that you are starting your business to do, but are looking for guidance on things to help set up your entity, your infrastructure. So naming your business, getting an email address, getting your website built, getting an LLC set up, getting your bank account. So all those kind of things that every entrepreneur needs to do. We have steps that you should do, kind of helping you with the order of the process of getting everything set up. And then we have how-to articles on there. We have a community resource with forums, and we also have there's a lot of tools and services that you need when you're starting a business. So we've tested all of the services that are available to help you with each of those steps and provide information on those with pricing and kind of our experiences with customer service and features and whatnot. So it's free for entrepreneurs to use, ChooseWhat.com, and encourage you to check it out if you happen to be in that market.
Terrific. Thank you, Leo. My company is Puffingston. We create business presentations. We work with a lot of startups, a lot of tech companies around the Austin area, as well as nationwide. We made this presentation here. So that is what we do. If you are going to the startup crawl tomorrow, we'll have a booth at the Condé Nast Mega Stop on East 6. So come say hi to us if you're going to be checking that out as part of Austin Startup Week. You're going to learn a little bit about Kickstand, but as that's the next presenter, they are a sponsor as well. And then again, thank you to the library for putting this all together. Really appreciate it.
I just wanted to mention, we have some of our business resources and books over here on a bookmark. Anybody would like to take them? And we encourage you to use our databases at the library for your business needs.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And we got a coffee sponsor. It's actually Lola Savannah. So got the logo wrong. Sorry. But thank you very much to our coffee sponsor, and if nothing else, come every month because we'll have a new coffee sponsor. You'll try all the different coffees around Austin for free. So we'll get them next to them. All coffee. The parent company of 1 Million Cups is the Kauffman Foundation, which is an amazing foundation, does all kinds of great work with entrepreneurs and small businesses around the country. And if you go, kind of as part of that 1 Million Cups page that I showed earlier, if you check out the Kauffman, really just entrepreneurship, which I know is hard enough to spell, and then .org. If you find that, it's pretty easy to get this. They have an incredible resource, incredible library of free resources, all kinds of great YouTube videos, generally in the 1 to 5 to 10 minute range, quick hitting. And they honestly have practically everything about starting and operating a business. So this is a really great resource as well. Wanted to make sure and mention that. So I'm going to actually back up to Molly's information and hand it off to her for our presenter number 2. So please welcome her to the sort of stage front area. Yeah, absolutely. Woo! Molly.
As Luke said, I'm Molly. I apologize, my voice is a little hoarse today. I woke up yesterday with a cold. I've been telling everybody how much I enjoy the cooler weather, but the downside to the cooler weather and then the hotter weather again is that I now have my annual cold. So I apologize for that. As Luke said, I'm Molly. Molly George. Molly Wilson's my maiden name. I got married about 2 years ago, and my business stuff has been really hard to relinquish the maiden name. But if you see me on our website, if you see me on LinkedIn, most of my stuff is under Molly George, just so you guys know in case you're interested in getting in contact. I'm the founder of Kickstand Communications. As Luke mentioned, we are a full-service PR agency headquartered here in Austin that supports primarily tech companies across the country. A little bit of my background, I did communications and PR for a variety of tech companies in town, most notably Bizarre Voice, where I was on the PR team through the company's IPO, and then had the ability to go to a company called buildasign.com. Dan Graham, the CEO there, is somebody that a lot of people in Austin might know of. I built out their first kind of in-house PR program at BuildASign, and when I was leaving BuildASign to go to a company called Mutual Mobile, Dan was the one that actually encouraged me to think about starting my own agency. And as somebody who had been working in-house and kind of had the role of managing agency relationships, I kind of really took that to heart and thought about that while I went on to my next role at Mutual Mobile and kind of continued to do some PR and some data programming work for that company, and decided that from my experience, a lot of the agencies that I had managed in my in-house roles really kind of, they set the bar, I don't want to say they set the bar low, but they didn't always kind of exceed expectations. It seemed like there was this general, set goals that are very, very realistic, that you're likely to hit all the time. There's never really any like stretching. I felt like I was constantly coming to go to them with ideas and not getting a lot of proactive support from my agency partners. And most of my agency partners weren't local. A lot of times we're working with a Bay Area agency, we're working with a New York agency. And if you're not a Bizarre Voice that has, $20,000 in budget to give to your agency every month, your options were more limited if you really wanted to work with local support. So all of those things kind of combined to really motivate me to start Kickstand. We're about 3 years old today. I ran it for about the first year as more of a consultancy. So I kind of relished the fact that I had been working 60, 80-hour weeks at my previous jobs, and now I was kind of in control of my schedule. I could work when I wanted and how I wanted and take on the work that I wanted to take on and not take on what I didn't. Ran it for about a year by myself and then realized, if I'm going to do this, I really want to grow my team. I really want to create something that's impactful for both Austin businesses, but I also want to create an agency that can support clients across the country and around the world. So I got connected to Christina, who Luke mentioned is one of the team members kind of helping put this on. And she had just relocated from Boston, had a similar vision, and we decided to grow Kickstand. So while we've been around for about 3 years, we've kind of been around in our current state for more like 2 years. Today we are about 10 people. Most of our team is here in Austin, but we have some support in New York as well. And we are looking to grow the team over the next year. We support primarily technology companies, and while there are some similarities between those businesses in the sense that most of them do have a strong tech component, not all of them do. We work with like a mortgage bank, but the majority of our clients are technology focused. The biggest commonality among all of our clients is that it's businesses that are going through some kind of period of pretty substantial change.
For some companies, that is, they've got their kind of founder team and they're looking to launch their product or service to market. They kind of been operating on more like a stealth mode and they're ready to go public. For some of our companies, it is that they're kind of coming out of this startup phase and they're looking to transition their business into kind of more of like a big kid business. And we really help them manage a lot of the challenges that come along with that, both on the external side and on navigating kind of the internal challenges that come along with it as well. And for some of our clients, they're preparing for acquisitions. They are preparing to announce major rounds of funding. They are preparing to go public. So while our clients kind of all look similar in that they're usually tech companies, the biggest common factor is that they're all going through some period of change and really looking for support. We usually operate with about 10 clients at any given time. And we do kind of the traditional PR services, so the majority of what we're doing for our clients is getting them into the media. We work with national media every day, so that could be, you know, the Fortunes, the Forbes, the Wall Street Journals, a lot of tech publications, as you can imagine, a lot of vertical publications for clients as well. We also do some additional work outside of kind of your traditional PR services, anything from analyst relations to thought leadership programming, speaking and awards programming. And then in the last like 6 to 8 months or so, we've actually launched a research division. So over the next year, that's kind of one of our core focuses is more formally launching our kind of Kickstand research division. So we've been doing really scrappy, creative campaigns for our clients today. And we know that we are charging next to nothing for campaigns that these people would be paying $20,000 if they went to a larger agency to get the support. So a few kind of our key challenges over the next year, I would say, are growing our business, so growing our revenue. A lot of our business today, we kind of have the exact opposite, like where Lisa's really looking to grow her business with word of mouth and referrals. That's really been the primary source of our additional new business. It's been working great, and we want to continue to get those referral clients. But our biggest challenge is kind of figuring out how do we scale the business beyond reliance on my network, on Christina's network. How do we get better at kind of finding cold leads and converting cold leads? Growing a team is also going to be a key challenge for this next year. Austin's a great pool of talent for young hires. So folks right out of UT, right out of St. Ed's, right out of Texas State. There's a smaller pool of talent if you're looking for more senior hires. And over the next year, we've got to bring in some senior talent in order to free up some of my time, some of Christina's time to go and focus on the new business. And then the research division, like I said, we've been both with the research and with a few of our other kind of core competencies, we know that we're leaving a lot of money on the table. We're undercharging clients. We're throwing in a lot of free work because we care a lot about keeping our clients happy, making sure that they're ready to sign the next annual contract when it comes up. But the downside to that is we know that we are really undercharging for a lot of the services that we provide. And so kind of navigating how do we start rolling out some of these same services to new clients, figuring out what those price points are that they're willing to pay, and kind of becoming an agency that can compete with those larger agencies, but for a lower cost for companies that are interested in more kind of large RFP processes. So those are kind of the big things. Good. I know that was a lot. Yeah.
So you mentioned a lot of your clients, you said you had 3 different times when clients usually come to you guys. I think one of them was when they're trying to become more of a big boy company. I would assume a lot of it comes with another round of funding.
It does.
So do you guys partner with any major internal networks or VCs where you're like the preferred vendor?
We don't. We've had some conversations here in Austin specifically. And one of the ones that we talked to was already working with a small firm in Austin to do similar kind of work. They didn't seem that they were extremely happy. I think the key for us is I think that's a great point, and it's still something that we're interested in kind of going where the money is, following the money versus following the specific companies. One of the challenges that we've had is like in working with, Christina does a lot of work as a mentor with Techstars. So when we're going to kind of those groups, it's a lot of earlier stage companies that don't yet have the budget that we really require for a retainer business. That's the other thing I should mention is that our business is kind of split between retainer work, where we sign annual contracts and we're doing retainers that are pretty large in size, and then project work where it's a very well-defined scope of work for a period of like 60 to 90 days. And we used to be very heavy on the project side, and it like kills the team. It stretches them thin, it pulls their focus away from our long-term stable client relationships. So we're really trying to focus more on the retainer side. So to answer your question, yes, we've thought about it. Yes, we've talked to a few folks in town. But we haven't ever gotten that right relationship that would get us in front of the companies that are kind of like the right companies for us. But yes, it's something that we've thought about, and I still think it would be, if we could find the right fit, it'd be great. And maybe it's not looking in Austin, maybe it's looking at like the General Catalyst in Boston area, which is also an area where we do a lot of our business. So we might have been limiting ourselves too much by focusing it just in the Austin area.
How do you identify companies that are looking for PR support?
Yeah, so we started exploring and kind of experimenting with our market dev, or kind of like beach and stuff. And this is the area where if anybody has experience with this, I would love to buy you a coffee and pick your brain, because it's something that we're definitely still learning about. It's a few things. So we have folks that are helping us with the Texas markets and with Boston and New York markets, and actually Colorado markets. And we've kind of got an idea of company size, the areas of focus. So we do a lot of tech work, but we also know that like health tech is becoming a big thing for us. So it really, with the cold leads, it starts with just exploring on their website and kind of digging in and seeing like, do they have an existing PR agency? Do they have any press releases they put out in the last year? Have they announced any recent funding that would probably make them more likely to need communication support? We've also thought about on LinkedIn trying to figure out a way to set up alerts when when a company hires a new director of marketing, director of communications, VP of marketing. We haven't figured out exactly how to do that, but we do know that usually when a new head of marketing and head of PR, head of communications comes in, that's usually when they're changing agencies, even if they already have an existing relationship. So we have a few ideas as to potential ways of doing it. A lot of our challenge is really resources too. It's Kristen and I have a lot of ideas and not a lot of time to try and go and like execute on them, which I'm sure is not an uncommon challenge for anybody that's sitting in here. But yeah, so we've explored a few ways of trying to pin those down.
I don't know if this fits your business or not, but when you were talking, in my mind I thought about, there's business funnels and the sales funnels and product funnels, but like within a PR company, it's like, as you're describing this company, it's almost like they're like children. It's like you're growing them up, right? And it's sort of like if a business comes in and they're a kindergartner and then they become a fifth grader, it's like as they grow, maybe like it's written in their contract or somehow, or like you moving forward, like you get them on board with like you are going to grow with us, and as such, like what we can do for you can also grow as you grow, but so does your cost,
Absolutely.
And then if it's transparent in that way, like maybe then they kind of also understand where they're going to, maybe they'll be less likely to.
Yeah, I think that's something that we're not great at doing right now, is kind of setting this like trajectory of like what kind of the long-term program looks like for them and what that means kind of on the financial side and what the program looks like. And that's one thing that we're trying to get better at, kind of in the early parts of the company. It was like we wanted any business we could get, and we were kind of willing to do whatever it took to get that business and keep that business. And as a result, it was like we were charging very low amounts of money and doing a lot of work that was well beyond kind of the scope of what that relationship should have looked like. So we've really been trying to kind of hone in on that over the last like 6 months or so. So now when we put together proposals, we're like very, very focused on kind of what are we pricing this at and what specifically does that get them, so that if they want more, we have the opportunity to then grow the size of the retainer to accommodate that. So I think you're absolutely right. I think we're not great doing that right now.
Because I was even thinking like with the younger, scrappier startups, or even like a one-person show. I mean, I'm even thinking for myself, I was like, every now and then it would be really nice to pay for a la carte. Like, I really just want to pitch like these top 5 places, and have someone help me because they've got the connections, and it's like, and maybe that's like pre-packaged, like they're just paying a la carte, and that's all they're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually about a year and a half ago, we came up with this idea that we thought was great. And we're like, no agencies in town really cater to those small kind of entrepreneur, small owner-led businesses that don't want to go out and hire a big agency, but they have these kind of needs here and there that they could use some help with, or just companies that are coming out of the tech stars or the capital factories that they need to start talking about their business and they just have no idea where to start. They don't have any of the foundational assets in place. They don't know who they should be talking to, and they don't know what they should be saying to those people. So we put together this program about a year and a half ago that's kind of similar to what you're saying, which we called Kickstand 10. And our idea was that there would be like 10 companies at any given time that were these smaller businesses that we would support on kind of an ad hoc basis with a very flexible budget month to month. We could figure out, how much they had and kind of what they needed that month, and it would be $750 one month and $250 next month and $2,500 the next month. And it was something that we were really excited about, and it just did not work at all. We started doing it and realized that since we're trying to grow our agency, staffing became a nightmare. We had to constantly shift teams and pull people off one thing, put them on a new project. So I still think the idea is really interesting, but we kind of went back and said like, oh, this is why no agencies are doing this, because it's impossible to try and figure out in a way that's like sustainable and scalable.
So geography, I would think sitting where you are, and then there's San Antonio pretty far away and all that. I would think it's a lot easier to capture a client when you can meet them face to face, and and you can also evaluate them more easily, because you can call somebody and go, these guys were, do I want them or I don't want them? Why, don't you? Why do you want to go beyond, 150 miles of Austin, Texas?
Well, a few reasons. Christina, my business partner, is from the Boston area, so the majority of her network is actually on the East Coast, and she travels out there. She's actually there right now, meeting with some of her clients. So she travels out there at least once a quarter, and takes meetings with our existing clients, and then also signs up with, for face-to-face meetings to secure some new clients. So that's why Boston is a big focus. My network is here in Austin, and the majority of the clients that we work with here in Austin are people that actually are former colleagues from Czar Boys that are now running marketing departments at a variety of different companies. And I agree, like if we can meet them face to face, I feel like the sales process is so much easier for us. We can close it so much quicker, and we can vet them to make sure that they're a good fit for us too, because there's usually that common network. So Austin is going to continue to be a big focus for us. Like today, I think about 40% of our business is here in Austin. And the most of it is, if it's not here in Austin, today is in Boston. One of the big reasons that we're interested in kind of the Denver, Boulder area is because it's got a very similar demographic to Austin. It's kind of a growing tech hub. And we've also seen a few agencies in Austin that we would consider to be some of our competitors starting to expand into those markets. So it's also kind of like
So maybe you should merge with somebody in Boulder.
Yeah, that's something that we haven't really thought about, but yeah.
Because, when you're on the business side, you've got your network and you're trying to, you just want somebody that kind of knows you, and that's going to be somebody local.
Yeah, one thing that we've actually explored along those lines is partnering with, or is anybody in here familiar with Austin NO, the new media? It's a new media site that launched about, I guess 2 years ago-ish in Austin. They're owned by Streetwise Media, and they operate in Boston, which is how we knew them originally. And when they launched in Austin, we really kind of partnered up with them, and they've been a great resource to us. We've been able to get great press, local press for our Austin clients, and then we've also kind of introduced them to what companies they should be talking to and writing about in Austin. And they are, I think, potentially launching a new division in the Denver, Boulder area. So that's something that we've explored, is maybe do we partner with them as they're launching, because on the media side, companies are going to want to talk to them. And so it makes sense for us to kind of have that relationship and support their launch and kind of use that to get access to the clients. But I think maybe partner with an existing company there could be an interesting approach.
You kind of hit on this earlier with kind of not knowing what your long-term strategies are, but coming into startups that are in transition, is your company coming in and filling that need during that period and then creating the systems for them to sustain on its own, or are you filling that need to sustain long-term with you being involved in it?
We've kind of had both situations. More often than not, if we go in and we've had companies reach out and say, hey, the person that was kind of running our programming just left and we have this gap internally. Can you guys come in and kind of be like a stopgap for the next 6 months and help us keep the program afloat and maybe grow the program a little bit? And we do that for them for about 6 months. Most of the time, those actually end up converting into long-term relationships because once they kind of have us, they don't want to let go of that additional support. Sometimes it is filling an internal gap. We have most of our smaller clients are the ones that don't have that team internally, so we're kind of almost like their outsourced marketing department. For our larger clients, they've got pretty full-fledged marketing teams internally, and they just can't do everything with a team of 4 or 5 people. So we kind of come in and have our additional feet on the ground to help them execute.
Yeah, so you talked about earlier about lead gen, and you guys are trying to do some of that. What are you guys currently doing in terms of developing like online assets and maybe perhaps whatever outreach that you're doing to try to fill your funnel?
Yeah, so I think we're a great example of like the cobbler's kids have no shoes. So like what we do for a living is like marketing companies, and we are horrible at marketing ourselves. And we know that, we're very self-aware. And we've even started kind of listing like Kickstand as a client on our weekly kind of action items to try and assign hours to our own company to try and get stuff done. But we're naturally always the thing that gets kind of pushed to the wayside so that we can better support clients.
Well, if you would go public right now at this moment with what you're going to do for yourself and tell us all what that is, we're going to hold you accountable to that.
That's great, maybe that's what I mean.
What is it? Tell us.
So one thing that we're doing is actually reworking our website, which I think right now if you go to our website, it is not a good view of who we are and what we're capable
So
of
when
doing.
is that going to happen?
I'm doing it right now, so we have a deadline of having it done and live by end of year. I set my deadline. Yes, yeah, our website I thought it was great 3 years ago. So we're redoing the website, and then we are actually in the midst of creating our lead lists and then starting to do kind of cold outreach. What we can't figure out is like, I cannot for the life of me. Austin is actually great. People will respond to your emails in Austin and usually take you up on the offer, like getting coffee with them and just getting like a face-to-face intro meeting. So we have more like in Austin with the cold outreach. Like Boston, not so much. Like if people don't know you, they don't have a connection to you. We're really struggling to get people to talk to us. I think the website will help because part of that is going to be putting together formal case studies that we can share. We've explored another tool that's TrendKite, if you were familiar with the company, another local company. We've explored using them to try and kind of create free like snapshot graphics for companies that we're interested in talking to kind of show them the problem that they have that we can help them solve. It hasn't worked. It's worked in some cases, but it's also been a giant time suck in some cases that hasn't converted to business. So we're still exploring that. But the website to me is like, that's like the #1 priority right now, is getting a new website. I think, did you have a question?
Say one more, and then I think, are you guys okay with just sticking around? Are we able to hang out a little bit afterwards?
Sure.
Yeah,
We're almost at 20 minutes on the questions.
cool, so I'll say one more question, we'll do the official wrap up, and then we can hang out afterward.
Sounds good.
So what's your elevator pitch?
Our elevator pitch. So we basically say that we are a data-driven PR firm that helps brands in the hottest tech markets across the United States get to market and grow quickly. It's kind of in a one-sentence nutshell. That's what we do. We take a scientific approach to PR, so we kind of combine data and creativity to create measurable PR programs.
What can you do for them?
What can we do for them? So a lot of our clients it's improving brand awareness and credibility. The biggest thing that we're focused on is helping them capture and defend share of voice in their market. We really feel like that is much like SEO. Once you capture it, it's hard for a competitor to come in and take it away from
So
you.
the bottom line is you help them make more money.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yep. That's a good point. Yes. It's all about the dollars.
But you're also bringing expertise that they don't have to then have.
Yes,
You know, a
absolutely.
startup company isn't an expert in communication, so to offer them that expertise so they can focus on the business.
Yeah, and that's a great point, for those companies that are at that level that would be hiring one person internally for the same amount of money that they would get to hire, like they hired somebody in-house for the same amount, they would get somebody that has maybe 2-3 years of experience and it'd be one person. For that same amount, our retainer gets them a full account team of people with a lot more experience and kind of like 4 or 5 different brains that are working on your company.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mike. Give me a moment. I'll give you a quick closing, and then we will be wrapped up. And basically, just want to remind everyone that we would love to have you to make this truly a communal experience. We would love to have you get involved. So you could certainly always use more help on the organizing side. And then especially if you or you have a friend, family, whomever who would be interested in presenting, just go to our website, which I'll put up in just a moment, and simple little application. It's all online, very, very easy process. We'll start to get those queued up over the upcoming months. Again, this is going to be basically every first Wednesday of every month going forward, right here, with fun new coffee. And then again, thank you so much for participating. We were really nervous that there would be 2 people and they wouldn't say anything and that this would just be a disaster. So some awesome conversations today. And that's how this group becomes powerful, is getting lots of different people from lots of different industries. We're going to aim to keep a little bit of a variety of industries from the presenter's perspective as well, to keep this interesting and touch on different people's areas of expertise. So tell people about it, and please continue to come. Hopefully you had a great time. I think this is some really interesting conversations. And I guess I want to just go back to that intro page there. So with that, but yeah, there's our website and stuff. So thank you, everyone. I think the library said we can hang out for a little bit. Yeah? Awesome. Appreciate that. And our 2 speakers are up here. If you want to continue talking to them, get their contact info, etc., please do. And have a great Wednesday. Great Wednesday.